So this video is a continuation of my Halloween tutorial. I kind of wanted to still label that because the Halloween tutorial, Widow Queen 1 through 4 is just basically an extensive tutorial about all the products I basically use to achieve my look and my face. The one titled Halloween tutorial, Widow Queen Finale, that basically just explained my nail color and my wig effect and what kind I used. But this one is basically going to be more about who I am. The reason why it was important for me to post this video today, of course, mainly I've been completely inspired by this stencil that I created. Also, it is Halloween, but to touch even more on a serious note is today is the last day of breast cancer awareness. I felt it necessary to have my first video on today is because I first wanted to mainly be about beauty, but I also wanted to touch upon a very serious matter that pertains to me personally. So since today is Halloween and it happens to also be the last day of breast cancer awareness, my confessional is that I've been diagnosed with breast cancer on October 6th of this year, which is 2016, and I am 37 years old, which is still considered very young to be diagnosed, but not abnormal though, based upon genetics. And people in your family that may have had this cancer or other types of cancers. So with my diagnosis, I wanted to put this video on. I first wanted people to see what breast cancer looks like. I do have a wig on, but I do have my hair. I have not begun treatment yet. Like I said, I've just been diagnosed. At this point in my journey, I'm waiting to know when my surgery is. So that's really frustrating right now, not knowing when I'm going to surgery. Frustrating on several parts because of me being on a medical leave. One that I opted in to do personally to deal with my family matters and to really focus on my health, and also my short-term disability. So it's been really kind of just, I've been dealing with a lot of matters like since Friday, and financially, I've never been out of work. I've always worked. Even when I was a stay-at-home mom, that's still a job, Some people don't think it's a job, but it is. It's a full-time job. But I've always worked. I'm only 37 years old. I am married. Approaching 7 years. I've known my husband for 8 years. We have 2 daughters, 3-year-old and a 6-year-old. And my biggest concern is because in my family, a lot of women have passed from breast cancer or complications with breast cancer. And there's a lot of people on my mother's side that have cancer, like my half-brother just recently passed of brain cancer. My mom passed in 2003. Her sister passed. So it's a lot of cancer in my family. So it's also very scary for me because, number one, I'm fairly young. But it becomes a reality when you're diagnosed. You always have that in the back of your head that, maybe I may get it, but maybe I won't get it. But I do know for sure that I have it. It's actually in my right breast. I actually have 2 cancers in my right breast, and I'll touch upon how I found out about both. Initially, how I found out about the first cancer, the latter part of September, I had a really bad day at work, and went home early that day. As I lay in bed, my husband already went to work, so I was laying in bed just thinking about the day, thinking about whether I wanted to continue working for this company, whether I wanted to continue to be treated this way, just really reflecting on life and what my life's passion, my career goals are. So something told me, you haven't did a breast examination in a while. So I did. As I'm checking my breast, on my right side I notice a lump. So I go back to my left side, I check, but mind you, I have very dense breast. So a lot of times when a woman has dense breast, and this is where I want to put this insight that's really, really important for people, that I want people to know. Because I have dense breast, the perk of having dense breast is that your breasts are perky. These are my natural breasts. I do have like a push-up bra on here, but generally I don't wear a push-up bra. I have it on today for the effect of the top I'm wearing and this whole Kiss of a Spider Woman look I'm going for. But I generally don't wear a push-up bra. I don't feel like I need to. But having dense breasts, your breasts are normally perky, very full. So that's a good perk about it. So you don't really notice changes. You're used to the dense tissue in your breast. If you do breast examinations every month, it doesn't seem like any changes really. I am really young being diagnosed, but I've had mammograms in the past. I would go yearly. They were preempted because of the strong history in my family of women having breast cancer and also past, dying from it. After I had my first daughter, I started having mammograms after that, and that's when I lived in Jersey. I'm actually from New York, but I live in South Carolina now, and so I think nothing of it. I'm pretty fairly busy mom, work full time, 2 young daughters, 3 and 6. They keep us busy. My husband keeps me busy. My job keeps me busy. It's just a busy life. So when my daughter had finished her year of her kindergarten year of school, it was towards the beginning of June. My birthday happened to be in the beginning of June, so we went on vacation. July, my husband's birthday's in July. We went on another vacation. Our youngest daughter, her birthday's in the middle of August. We didn't go on vacation because school now is back in the South. School starts earlier than it does in the North. So it starts in August as opposed to September. So I've been busy all summer. I've been going probably for like the last 3 or so months before everything dialed down. So really not even 3 or so months. I would say maybe almost 4 months been going. So I would say the latter part of May up until the latter part of September. So, and also what triggered me to sit down and reflect on life is this bad day I had at work. So when I felt the lump on my right breast, I was like, oh my God, this couldn't be what it is. But it did feel different than what I felt before. So at first I was mad at myself for not checking and doing self-examinations every month. But in retrospect, I'm glad that I didn't do it every month, because if I did it every month and didn't have that little break like I did, I would have not probably even noticed a change that much. When I did this examination, I noticed a change right away. At first, my first instinct was to call my husband, but he works overnights, and I decided not to do that so he wouldn't be worried. So I decided that sleep it off. This could be a strong possibility, but don't be afraid to tell, your loved one, which is my husband. So I decided to wait till he got home that morning. He gets in really early, and I was already ready for him once he got through the door. And the first thing I said to him, I said, look, I want you to do a breast examination and let me know if you feel something. Didn't let him know what breast it was, or anything. lay down on the living room floor, and he proceeds to do the breast examination. He does the left first, and he does the right. And after he does it, I ask him, "Do you feel anything?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Where do you feel it?" He said, "I feel on the right side." I said, "That's exactly where I felt it." And we discussed it. It was emotional. We discussed it, but I made an appointment right away. I waited till it was later on in the day once the offices were open. But I made an appointment. That actually, when I found the lump, it was right before my mom's birthday. She passed in 2003, but I still honor her life and celebrate her day. So I believe that was probably, I can't even remember what day it was because it went so fast, but I believe it was like September 21st. I made my appointment. I had my appointment like 5 days later, September 26th, that Monday. OBGYN, she examined me, felt the lump, ordered me right away to make an appointment to get a mammogram and a sonogram. And let me tell you why getting a mammogram and sonogram is important. When I went to the facility, they gave me a mammogram. They wanted to see my past mammograms. I had to get that from Jersey and also New York. Didn't notice any changes through the mammograms. The mammogram, when I went that day, they didn't notice the breast cancer. It was not until I had the sonogram. Now, they only did the sonogram on the right side. They didn't do it on the left side. They did the mammogram on both sides and then the sonogram on the right side. From that sonogram, I had an inkling that it was cancer. The doctor, played it off. They wanted to remain positive. Oh, we don't know if it's cancer or it could be, not cancerous, but we're going to do a biopsy. I had to wait 5 days to do the biopsy because I took pain relievers. Sometimes I go through body aches. I've been tired, a little fatigue. Listen to your body. If that's abnormal, talk to your doctor about it. What I want women to take away from what I'm saying is you're not too young to be diagnosed with breast cancer. Don't let a doctor, don't let your friends, don't let your family tell you otherwise. If you feel a change in your breast, if you feel tired, fatigued, something different out of the norm, use that woman intuition that you have inside yourself and go and get a mammogram. But not even just a mammogram. Do further testing in terms of a sonogram, even if you have to do an MRI. Sonogram, I did. Biopsy, I did. Confirmed it was cancerous. Found out the next day, the following day. Following week, doctor's appointments all week. Did my MRI that Tuesday after my diagnosis. I found out I had breast cancer. I had my biopsy that Wednesday, but I found out on that Thursday for sure after the results. Had my MRI that Tuesday. After everyone examined me, I didn't even find the second cancer. Had my MRI. In the MRI, this is why it's important to get further testing, particularly women with dense breasts. And I'm going to tell you that. Particularly, this is what the key is. The MRI showed a second cancer in my right breast. The left one they weren't sure of. If I didn't do my self-examination, I wouldn't even know I have cancer. My breasts look fine. I mean, if you look at it in the top, they look fine, healthy, no change to my skin. I would never even know if I didn't examine myself. And I'm not talking about just in the shower. I'm talking about shower. Sometimes try it. Just lay down in your bed and try it. If you have dense breasts, look into it. Don't let someone say you're too young. Get further testing. Because women with dense breasts may not show up. So this is what I wanted to say. And it's probably, my video is not going to probably allow me, so there'll probably be a two-part to what I'm getting to. The MRI showed the second cancer. After examination, no one noticed it. No doctors noticed it. I didn't notice it. It was an MRI that showed it. So this is why further testing is important. The mammogram didn't see it. The sonogram didn't see it. The MRI saw the second cancer in my breast. The first cancer discovered is probably about 2.1 centimeters. Second is about 1.5. I still have a lot of questions. This is a new diagnosis. Today is October 31st. My whole journey's only been about a month so far, and this is literally just the beginning.